Good evening and welcome everyone to Competitive Speed Series SCC, CSS even. Oh my goodness, what a way to start the stream. I am just waiting for Ollie to join me in the comms box. So we'll have a quick look at the track map before we go on. Actually, we might go on track very, very shortly. We are here ready and waiting for the mystery track for round 5. I'm pretty certain a lot of people know what it is now. So let's head over. Because what is the worst that will happen when we go over to the screen? Oh, goodness me. It is raining here in qualifying. This is going to be an absolute wonderful way to start this session. Let's have a look and go from a Kieran point of view, I think is the best way to do it. Yeah, there is sound coming through. I just wanted to make sure. But my goodness me, rain in qualifying at the Circuit of the Americas. America is very, very wet indeed right now as Bobbits and Venom deciding to go out on soft tyres for some reason in this qualifying session. Shizou maybe going for a different strategy, which probably isn't going to do them a world of good considering, well, you kind of need traction, and traction is where the... You get the right tyres on, and intermediates look like the way forward. No one else has yet decided to put on a set of wets, and yeah, Inter seem to be the way to go. But it's Kieran Nag 1184, the first driver to start a lap time. We will just remind you of the teams here tonight in the V-Carb car. We've got the FRT team, McLaren, we've got NVR. TTM are in the Williams car, and Shizou are in the Red Bull. Mercedes, who we're on board with now, is the FGE team. Sauber are the BRT team. The TIR team are Aston Martin. The Ferrari team are the XPG. CRE are in the Alpine, and AMS are Haas. And that is pretty much what we have got right now as through the Maggots and Beckett section of this Circuit of the Americas. Already, Kieran has invalidated, which is not ideal indeed for him. Liam Hardman, I don't think, is on a lap. SLR medal then coming through the first corner now. The other car on a lap time. I can imagine a lot of these guys will decide that being on, well, just doing a couple of laps on a set of intermediates will probably be the way that they get their fastest laps. We will go and have a look at the leaderboard for the team event here in CSS very, very shortly, and probably actually between qualifying and the race. But right now, CLR medal is on a lap through the hairpin down at turn 11, all the way down this long back straight from turn 11 to turn 12. A lot of pressure on them to get it around. Shizou Venom on a lap on the wets, on the softs in this wet weather conditions. I'm not sure what is going on for him there, but through into turn 12 for medal, looking a little bit tentative through their early doors. No real dry line form, or no racing line forming in the wet right now. Not very many cars have gone through yet to really push on, but we'll see what medal can do for the Mercedes team tonight as he heads through the triple right-hander, 10, 17, 18. Well, it is a triple right-hander, really. Long banking right-hander. And then into turn 19. Don't want to push too hard, and he hasn't pushed too hard at all. A little bit tentative at the moment. Wet tyres. Well, this wet weather, we're not going to really see what representative times are. But 1:45 to start life. It's a banker laps for the Mercedes teams. Look all right. Placky then. What can the TTM driver do? He definitely needs to, well, boost the TTM scores, because when we look at the stuff, well, the standings later on, definitely will have a little bit of pressure on at the moment. Tyler's race cam. Who's on comms? It's just me. It's just Gareth at the moment. Ollie will be alongside me very shortly. Just waiting in for him to get in from the hospital. Nothing major. He's alive. It's all fine and good. Into turn 12 then goes TTM Placky. A lot of times coming in now. BRT crowding, managing a 43.8. Hops with a 43.5. This is the kind of times that we will be expecting to see by some of these drivers. There's Alcin with a 46.6 coming through turn number 16 now, and into this long banking right-hander. Well, not banking right-hander. It's just a long right-hander at the moment with that lovely dart into the left-hand side for turn 19. And you've got to be pushing as much as you can, and he's pushed to the limit there, is Placky. We know how quick he can be. NVR Chelsea's thrown himself up into second place for the time being, but here comes Placky across the line. It's only P8 for the time being, a 44.5, not really pushing the representative time. Quantum, then, what can you do as you're heading through the Maggots and Beckett's section at the moment? It's very reminiscent of that. Maybe a few extra corners for it as they head now into turn 8 and 9. He's got to make sure these are real perfect up to the apexes, hopping over the curb as much as he can, but you don't want to unsettle the car as he nearly unsettles it on the exit of turn 10. Historically, somewhere Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari back tyre died on him. Now through turn 11, down the back straight. He's going to be pushing as fast as he can, quite clearly, Quantum. He's going to want to go as fast as he can. But we'll look for a FRT typical there up into 5th place. Some lovely, some great teams. Oh, some great drivers as well for doing the best they can. Bobertson, Venom, the Shazoo team, desperately trying to make a soft tyre work. It doesn't look like softs are going to be anywhere near this qualifying session with 10 minutes to go. But they probably just, I don't know, angling things through. I'm definitely going to have to ask them what their mindset for this one is. But here comes Quantum then through this turn 17 and 18. Nice and tight for the time being. The back end does step out a little bit through the exit of 17. I wonder if that's going to affect his time. Hopping over the curb. Shazoo Venom then goes quicker. I honestly thought he was on a set of soft tyres. I'm not sure what the game is telling me at the moment. But there goes Quantum. A 1:43.5 does beat Hops, but doesn't beat Venom, who got a 1:43.4 to start life with. Tex Brutal then. Let's see what you can do. You're very quick through all this. Let's continue and hope he will be flat out through here. We haven't seen the best of Tex yet this season. We will hopefully through some of this throughout the season, but we'll wait and see. Definite for now how we can handle the pressure of the wet tyres. We haven't really had much wet to deal with throughout the season here on the Xbox side, and we haven't had the Xbox side of things visit CSS, competitive speed series. We'll go with that. So we'll have to wait and see. As just checking, I just saw a message pop up from competitive speed series, and I was hoping it was something decent. And it's not complaining at me, so that's all good. Throw into Tex, who has invalidated his lap time. Kieran, have you invalidated your lap time as well? He's going very slowly, not as quickly as he could be. So I'm assuming he has made a mistake through there. Crowding goes that little bit quicker. Getting the drinks out for saying SCC. Hopefully not. Quabala, if it is lagging, let me know. It's not on my end. If anyone else can let me know as well, that would be much appreciated. Just want to make sure everything is running smoothly. It looks smooth on 2 settings I've got, and hopefully the 1 gigabyte down is doing its job. But Kieran Derry, very slow, unfortunately. But if Smeg's saying it's jittery as well, maybe I need to just do something through all this. Let's see what it's like on Hops' side. I wonder if it's just a driver. Is it the voice as well as the imagery, guys? If you could let me know, that would be fantastic. CRE Hobson originally set the fastest lap of the session with a 1:43.5, but it's obviously the track is getting better. Gabble's got a 1:42.4 with 8 minutes left of the session. Through it all, let's hope he continue on, as it's a little bit jittery in the game apparently. So we will take an intermission through all this. And I wonder, if it's going to be the game. Jacob throws himself up into second place at the moment. It's still raining pretty heavily in Kota right now, but Hops will want to push and hopefully get himself into the 42s. I wonder if we will see a 41 right now. Thankfully it stopped. Thank you very much to Smeg, even, and Quibalda. Hopefully it doesn't come back up. If it does, let me know, and I will see if anything is to be done about it. Yes, Hops in through the Macca's section. Turns. He's through that now. Turn 10. A little kick there as he heads on down the hill into turn 11. Nice braking. He does straighten up a little bit, so he makes a little mistake as he was heading into the corner, and he had to correct that one. There is a Ferrari behind Titian Plaki, still towards the top end of the grid in 3rd place currently. Hops will want to push himself into that top 10, possibly into top 5. You know how quick he can get. Welsh Jack in 14th currently as well, his teammate for this evening. And I hear the lovely click of someone joining me in the chat, so that means I do have an Ollie with me, and hopefully he'll be able to join off my name very, very shortly. Ollie, are you alive and well? So 6 minutes left of qualifying to go, and Hops goes across the line. It's provisional P3 with Bobbers throwing himself up into P2 for the time being as well. Is Medal on a lap time? Can he do anything from this as he down the start-finish straight? He's just starting a lap time. So let's, I say he's just starting a lap time. He goes very much into the wet. Ollie, it is wet in qualifying right now. I'm not sure if you're aware of that one, but not very Kota-esque. Unfortunately, they can't hear you. I can hear you. I'm not sure why they can't hear you, but hopefully, it's if you just jump out and jump back in, it might kick-start it, Ollie. But it could be a Discord error. But into turn 1, and Welsh Jack has thrown himself into 4th place. So CRE doing a very, very good job at the moment. Let's go again and see if Ollie is talking.
Can you hear me, guys? No. Hopefully,
we'll hope so.
They can hear me. If they can let me know, well, I'll obviously let you.
We'll wait for the confirmation from the chat. The chat have been very helpful tonight, so we'll wait and see. I'm trying to see who else is available on track. Medal had thrown himself into 7th place. Got for the time being. Kieran Derry, are you able to? It seems like it's working now. The CSS chat has let us know. But yeah, Kieran Derry, let's see what he can do as he heads on through. I'm guessing you've yet to be able to join the session, Ollie. I'll keep on babbling away for the time being. As Kieran Derry is throwing himself through the Magan-Sepekis-esque part of the track as Tex Brutal throws a 1:41.4. Chat, let us know if that time is going to be beaten with 3 minutes and 33 seconds remaining. As through turn 10, Kieran Derry has gone, and then into turn 11, it's more of a hairpin area. Looking quite strong. Kieran Nag throws himself into second place with 42.2. So the lap times are improving. There is that racing dry line you can see where the cars have been pounding down all through the track, and we'll hope we can. And there's the lovely Ollie joining the session now as Kieran Derry goes a little bit wide at the exit of turn 12 through this tight and twisty latter part of sector 2 and into sector 3. Can be really tricky to get the nose dug in correctly, and well, you can lose an awful lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's difficult enough doing the dry leather in the rain, Gareth, in the session. Yeah, like I always say, guys, I'm glad I'm in the box and not out on track, especially in these wet conditions. But it looks like everyone other than, well, there we go. Kieran's on his first lap on the board in the Aston Martin, a 1:44 flat. Again, a lot of time to 3 seconds to claw back from the BRT team in the lead of this qualifying session. But again, still, we might have enough time for one more lap. It looks like for Kieran.
It's really interesting. Shazoo Venom was up on his first sector time, but ducked out of completing the lap. And MVR Chelsea throws himself second, splitting the BRT team there, as then TTM Placky goes into second place. Shazoo Venom not wanting to do better that time around. Jacob, I think, is just about to start a lap time. Is anyone else? Gabble, generally very, very solid qualifier. He's up half a second, but his back end massively steps out at turn 19. That could have cost him big time, and across the line, there's not going to be any second chances, but he is quickest of all with a 41.1 at the moment, but surely there's got to be time found from other people.
I think so. You can see everyone trying their best. This is the last shot really here, Gareth. 1 minute 10 left of this qualifying session on board with Jacob down in 11th. His back end is all over the place at the moment. Trying to keep those tyres cool. You can see him going over the outside of the track, keeping those intermediate tyres cool as he can and not overheat them as he goes into the biggest braking zone on the circuit, down towards the last sector on the circuit. Hops the curb there. Let's see whether he's up on his sector 2 time. He is. He's almost 3 tenths up and purple in sector 2.
Let's see how he will handle it. There's a few other cars coming through across the line now. A BRT, especially one of them, will see the dots go across, but will follow Jacob for the time being. One BRT car goes across the line. I don't think it's improved because he hasn't gone anywhere up, and neither the Red Bull, I think, there. But there's a few other cars. Josh just about to start one as well. No one really making any headway at the moment, but Jacob is going to get caught. Oh, the ghosted card, it doesn't really matter. But across the line for Jacob, up into P4 for the time being. That was an incredible gain at the end of the lap. Is BRT crowding going to... Tex Brutal then goes quickest of all with a 40.9. Mercedes goes across the line. There's a McLaren coming to the end of their qualifying session. He's 2 seconds down on his lap time. He's not going to go any quicker, but the McLaren team's there definitely going very, very quick into the pits. It's AMS Knight then currently last on the grid, but across the line it's definitely going to be an improvement. It's up into 7th place for the time being. Who else can we go on board with? Is it Medal that's going to end the lap now? He is. There's 2 minutes. Well, time remaining is 2.5 minutes. We've still got loads of drivers to take to do times here.
Yeah, almost every car is on track at the moment as Medal comes towards the line. He jumps up to P12 for him. We've got a couple more cars crossing the line. There's a big jump up for someone there. Was it Venom, maybe? Yeah, it was Venom up to P4, Gareth.
Great time from Venom. Bobbitt's is coming through. Let's just stay on board with Bobbitt's. Quantum's retired in the pits. BRT Crowding, I think, is on a lap just ahead of last week's winner. But Bobbitt's is going to push to the line. The back end again steps out. This qualifying is really starting to take its toll for some of these drivers. But here comes Bobbitt's across the line. Is it going to be towards the top? It's only P13 for the time being, and that's the best he can do, and he's not going to be too happy with that. Welsh Jack then across the line in the Alpine car. Is it going to be an improvement? It's up to 12th place.
Yeah, great lap from Welsh, but Ilson has just jumped him right at the end there, and I think we've not got. I think Planky's the only one left, and Planky doesn't improve on his lap time. Gareth 2/10 slower than his previous lap time, and I think that is qualifying all set and done.
I think very much Tex is going very, very slow, so it would not be for him. He is just going to cross the line as we head down and finish the qualifying session. And we will obviously do the usual restart through this, but we will tell you the order of it all at the moment. It's Tex that is pole for the BRT team. He's done a very good job of getting his car there. Then it's Gabble and Quantum in the they are the NVR drivers there. Red Bull is Shizou of Shizou Venom in 4th. 5th is Typical. BRT crowding round going 6th. 7th is NVR Chelsea. Jacob in 8th. 9th is Arunka and TTM Placky in 10th place there. Then we got AMS Knight, TTM Elson, Welsh Jack, Liam Hardman, CRE Hops, ESV or Shizou Bobbers, Kieran Nag, Medal, Josh and Kieran Derry rounding out the remainder of the grid here tonight. Well, Ollie, you only saw the end, but really, that's all you needed to see, didn't you? You didn't need to see anything else. The times are thick and fast. It looks like it's going to be a dry race as well, which, well, we'll wait and see, which is good. But yeah, from what you saw from the qualifying session in the wet at Kota, happy with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different drive at the top this time around. I know we had a dry quali in Azerbaijan last week, followed by a horrific weather-wise. The great race was really good. The weather was awful. It almost did dry at the end, wasn't it? So nice to have a bit of sunshine. But quali, it went well. Everyone made it round. No one retired, I don't think, if I think back. But Tex at the top, Gareth, we saw him up near the top last week, and he's in fine form once again this week.
Well, we'll have a look at the standings right now, and yeah, Team Shizou managing to claw a lot of time into TTM's lead, which is exactly what they were. Well, what they wanted to do, massively down to Bobbitt's incredible race victory last time out, doing a very, very good job and nearly losing it at the end, losing time over fist. But we will wait and see. The dynamic weather for the race too, so we will have to wait and see if it will stay dry. But
of course,
we will wait and see. Quantum yet to retire, but yeah, look at that, 4 points between TTM and Shizou. Bunga, or BRT, sorry, a further 10 points behind. FRT and CRE, both teams will be frustrated with last week's race because they both had chances of getting some great points, but it just wasn't to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few teams last week, wasn't there, Gareth, where you thought, okay, here's a good haul of points happening. Safety car happened, or the rain dissipated, then drivers timed it wrong with the switch over the tyres. There's a couple of different things that didn't go their way with a couple of teams last week. Obviously, Shizou getting a good haul of points in the race last week, and you can see they've obviously jumped up and not too far behind now. TTM in the lead of the standings. Again, it's still pretty close. The top three teams only split by 14 points, and then a bit of a drop then down to FRT, but it's still pretty close. If the top five, they're not that far off each other, Gareth. As we've said already, have a good week and you can go up and you're back in the top. How quickly this league changes. We've already seen it this season how quickly it changes. So I can't see it staying the same for long. Or it could. You never know. But its league changes so drastically, so quickly. Anything can happen.
and with points all the way down to 15th as well, it just adds that little bit of extra pressure because everyone's so used to points down to 10. Sometimes they just lose. Maybe you lose focus a little bit. I think we saw maybe your first race. It could have been the race before where someone retired and they had points in the bag. They had 1 point, and that 1 point could be crucial come the end of the season. But TTM's still leading the way, just over halfway of the season to go. We will go to the calendar because obviously it's a mystery Grand Prix, but mystery solved. We are in America for the second of the Americas. It's in Texas, but next week Netherlands, and Zandvoort is such a complete polar opposite of this race. So yeah, they've got a week to prepare, but it's not like there's other. It's a different track completely. There's no similarities.
No, it's quite a different, while Kota is a new circuit, it's wide, it's flowing, plenty of overtaking opportunities, while Zandvoort is tight and twisty. Barriers aren't far away. We've seen plenty of incidents there as well. It can all change in an instant at Zandvoort. But what Zandvoort has that Kota hasn't is bank corners, Gareth, and we love a bank corner here in the comms box. And it would be great if more circuits had them, but unfortunately we don't. So it's a different challenge completely, and obviously being a European race, it will most likely be free in that. So another challenge for the drivers to negotiate as well.
Yeah, there's always a challenge. While we wait for the lobby to get up, we'll just have a quick word from our sponsors. As cool as we are, and then we'll be back very, very shortly. And we are back. So the Ollie is there. He is. Ignore the fact he's hidden away.
Apologies.
But yeah, there is plenty of action to be had here tonight. And Circuit of America, they're already readying up, which is great to see how quickly they've managed to get this turned around in the lobby. But there is plenty of action to be had tonight. I'm certain of it. I'm certain that this is going to be a incredible race tonight with the talent we've got on show for this team event on a Monday night. But okay, your third week into it now, isn't it? So you get a little bit more of a feel for the teams and how they won. TTM obviously very, very strong.
Yeah, it's the names that confuse you, guys. Like, I know the drivers. It's the names. Like I said last week, if they could have team names in the gamer tags, that would solve all my problems.
Yeah, it would be much easier, guys. Take note. But yeah, with all that, I mean, have you got any further insight? Who have you got? Like, I don't want to say a favoured team, but have you got sort of like a team that you're like, oh, they're definitely one to watch?
Well, now there's a driver called Welsh Jack, Gareth. I now automatically have a favourite driver. He wasn't here last week, so he is my new favourite. As is, Dettel was always a feature last week, wasn't he? But I don't think he's racing this evening. It looks like on the.
No, Welsh Jack has replaced Dettel.
Oh, has he? Oh, well, one goat has replaced the next goat, so that's perfect. Apologies to all the other drivers. I love you all equally, I promise. You're all my favourite children. I was still getting used to the teams. And obviously, BRT were a big statement last week, weren't they? How you were involved almost the whole race, always in some sort of camera shot, weren't they? While Shazoo were also up there. So and you look at the standings, both BRT and Shazoo are quite close together. TTM Obviously, after having a very good round 1, round 2, they've struggled a little bit in round 3 and 4. So something that they need to work on a little bit. But at the moment, it's still those teams. But again, we've still got 7 more rounds still to go, including this one. So still plenty of time for those other teams to get some more screen time and take my favourite spot on the teams table.
Yeah, you don't get points for qualifying, do you? So
No.
the plenty still to play for. So Detol has moved to TTM. There's a driver change through all that as well. So Welsh Jack has replaced Detol completely now.
Okay.
Liam Bowman and Ross in the chat. Ross, my WR co-commentator on a Friday night, and I've got my Monday night co-commentator all at one. It's my favourite place to be. And Liam Bowman, obviously a solid race driver when all things said and done. But it is looking dry. It looks like we're going to have a dry race, which is great. And we are going to get racing very, very quickly. If I can get over to and go for it. Here we go. It's away we go for Tex Brutal. Is he going to be able to hold on to the start and lead into turn 1? He defends massively through into it. NVR have to use this as an advantage. Gabble goes up the inside, but I think Quantum's going to lose a few places as they head on down through into this first sector, and Gabble leaves away. Quantum's managed to hold on, and there's a few positional changes through in the background as well. Shazoo Venom fighting away fiercely, but Bobbers has dropped a position or two, I think. Actually, I lie. He's gained a few positions. Let's have a look at the tyres that everyone are on. Tex is on a set of hards. This could be why he's struggling. Shazoo's Venom desperately trying to go around the other way, and there goes Jacob up the inside. It's 3 wide through turn 11, and I think there could be a little bit of damage to someone because something did go flying off. But Shazoo Venom had to concede to Jacob there.
Yeah, and they're going to go through abreast again. Gareth coming into the long straight here, the fry down the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact there. They just all about make it through. Wheel banging as they come through into the third sector here. Jacob and Tech side by side through the sector. Side by side once again, and the fry just about sneaks it. But he's back up the inside. Here we go. Tech coming up the inside, round this long right-hander now. He can't hang it around the outside, I don't think. And Jacob just about holds the lead coming through this corner to end lap number 1 here.
Yeah, it's very, very tight. And both BRT drivers... Oh, goodness, Jacob's gone wide and Tech's unable to do this again. Oh, goodness me. That is not ideal for Jacob. Gabble setting the fastest lap. And defensive from Crowding as typical tries to make a move in the background. As he does, in fact, make a move. And NVR Chelsea trying to get through as well. I wonder if there is a further problems through all this. We will... Yeah, there is definitely some lag on the stream. There's no lag on my... So, Ollie, I'll let you take over while I try and fix this problem.
No problem. We'll stay on board with the lead group here. Quantum's just shy of a second over his team. Oh, sorry, Gabor is just 7/10 ahead of his second place teammate in Quantum. Venom in third, Jacob fourth, and Tech Brutal round off the top 5 here. The gaps are increasing a little bit here on this first lap. DRS wide open, no one making any moves at the moment. It could, no, they're all staying in single file, but a late move from Chelsea down the inside of Crowding, coming into turn 12 there, doesn't make the move stick, but switches back to the inside. More contact between the drivers that come round. There's double right hand of 13 and 14, still side by side from both the drivers, and BRT Crowding just about holds the lead. But then again, Chelsea straight back at him. He's on the outside going around this long left-hander of 16, 17 and 18. Still there, still got his nose in, but just about can't hold it in. And Crowding just about holds the lead of this battle for P7 and P8 here in Kota. Venom fastest lap of the race to 34.5 from the Red Bull driver. The Shazoo driver, apologies. But the race is really getting into the business end of things. A lot of smoke coming through. Turn 1 people are locking up, coming into the heavy braking zone of turn 1 here at Kota. But Quantum is closing the gap to his teammate. It's now 0.3 of a second. Could this be the teams working together to try and create the gaps to the other drivers? Let's have a quick look at the tyres these guys are on. The top 4 are all on medium tyres, while Tech is on hard. He's not lost too much time to the top 4 here, still keeping his nose in. You'll have to be careful though once these guys come back into it. As here we go, Quantum looking at his teammate. DS flap is open up the inside. I don't think Gabor is going to defend him as Quantum takes the lead of this Grand Prix. And Gabor again doesn't fight it. Venom can't get through either. So Quantum into the lead of this Grand Prix. Gareth, are you back? Yeah, is the stream back? Okay.
I believe so. I haven't actually done anything. I've just looked at a few things.
Okay.
And just hope for the best. But people in the chat say the audio is perfect, so that's fine. We'll have to wait and see. But Gabor, quite rightly mentioned, is dropped down to second place. But this is where MVR have to do a team game here and just hit them. Well, Gabor and Quantum work together, stop Shazoo. If you're not a Shazoo fan, then that's exactly what. Or if you are a Shazoo fan, you want Shazoo Venom to be doing the world of good. Bobbits is up into 11th place. He's doing a good job there, but there's a few drivers on a set of hards. Obviously, the hard compound of tyres is not going to work so well at the start of the race. Bobbits up through into P10 now, ahead of Blackie. But Shazoo Venom is all over the back of Gabor. I think Quantum may have forgotten this is a team game because he's flying off.
Yeah, they need to work together. It's so important, especially for NVR here. They need to. They're 4th or 5th in the standings. 6th, sorry, 6th in the standings. So they need to work together, try and claw these points back. With 7 races to go in this season. Big lock up from Gabor coming into the long straight here. We have at close to turn 11. I don't think Venom's close enough though, Gav, because he's got DR to his teammate ahead. Jacob might look closer. No, again, they're in a bit of a train here, guys, so I can't see any movement. But Chelsea and Crowding still fighting away here for P7, P8, and finally Chelsea gets through, but he's gone wide at the exit of 12. Can Crowding get him back? Does he switch to the inside? No, he doesn't. And will stay behind the RB car for now.
Yeah, and they've got to be BRT. Chelsea have to be careful because you don't want to be building up that gap and that second gap which has happened between Chelsea and Typical now, because that will cause further problems further down the race. You've broken the DRS train, and then you've got a set front and back through all. But we'll wait and see, as apparently it's happening again. So I'll see if there's anything I can do on my end.
Down the inside, Tech on Jacob. There's a little bit of contact with Venom there, as well as Tech pushes a Ferrari out and Jacob down to 5th. Now, Tech, in fairness to him, Gareth, staying within this with those hard tyres on, staying with these top runners, doing a great job, and this will only aid him later on in the Grand Prix as they flow through Sector 1 here at Kota. Almost a replica of Maggott and Beckett as they come down the hill towards turn 11, clip the inside curb down towards turn 11, and still Quantum leading this Grand Prix, but Venom looking very close to the back of Gabor. Gabor loses the back end ever so slightly here. Could this be an opportunity for Venom? I think he's too far away, and unfortunately for Venom, Gabor is in the slipstream and the DRS of the car ahead, so no movements just there. Ilson looks to be getting past Crowding there as well. Crowding struggling on these hard tyres now. I don't know whether he's got damage to that car as well. But again, driver struggling in the early pass. I don't think he's got damage. Doesn't look like on that Kit car. But down the inside, Kelsey goes again. This battle is never ending between these drivers. They need to not work together as such, but they're dropping back together in this race. And just about Chelsea stays ahead of Crowding, and that's Ilson through past them as well. So these guys aren't helping themselves in this Grand Prix. On to lap 5 now for the drivers. Again, still Quantum, Gabor, Venom, Tech, and Typical now in 5th place. Unfortunately, I missed that move there, but then we've got a 6-car train at the front of the grid, and then a 2-second gap back to Chelsea in P8 with Crowding still fighting away with Chelsea. Great racing from the both, but it's non-stop from these guys. And in the background, you've got Blackie, Hops, Bobbert, Knight, Kieran. They're all in this fight, as well as Arunca a little bit too far back from this fight for now. But these guys are non-stop as Chelsea finally gets past Crowding, it looks like. But Welsh Jack gets a 3-second time penalties. Penalties are starting to come into play now. There's a lot of opportunities to cut in this circuit, and these guys are doing that here. Venom, is he finally close enough to take Quantum coming down towards P12. He's closing. Not close enough, but up the inside. Where Zacham Tech? Up the inside through turn 12, trying to bully his way past the Red Bull car there, but can't make his way through. Can he do the switch back here? Does he have the inside? Is his nose there? I think it is. He's going to have to go around the outside of this corner, though. Bit more difficult. Does a switch back on Venom, but again, just not close enough. Venom parking his car in the right places at the right time and keeping P3 for now, but Venom's got to concentrate on both sides now. He's got to concentrate on attacking the ball while defending from Tech. What does he concentrate on? Does Tech go up the inside into the final corner? No, he doesn't. And he'll stay in P4 for now. But Tech looking extremely quick, Gareth, on those hard tyres. Still involved with the top three here. And typical, not too far away either.
Yeah, it's really, really close. And you wonder if it's the switchover period between the hard and the mediums. But the back end of Tech's stepping out, causing him to drop a little bit. Chelsea and Hops swapping places. Placky, getting up into past Chelsea as well. So the hard's definitely coming into their own a little bit. Alcin managing to break away from crowding behind, which is good for TTM, but BRT need both their drivers to really be on top game at the moment, and Tex has definitely been there. He's up there, he's in with a shout, but TTM Alcin has caught back up to this top train, this top six. He's just at the back of it now.
Yeah, not far away. He's within DRS now of Jacob, which is great. And there we go. The wing opens up, and don't think anyone's close enough to make any moves at the front of the grid. Again, they're so close together, aren't they? This front bunch, this front seven, as Hops and Bobbert switch places in P11 and P12, the medium runners. The medium runners aren't utilising these tyres enough. The fact that Tech is so close to these guys, it might be Tech is just a merchant around this track, but they should surely be creating a little bit more gap than they are now. But the fact that Tech is fighting away with these medium drivers from the start shows how good he is on the circuit, but is it also showing how quickly these mediums fall off the cliff?
Well, it's definitely a medium hard kind of track, or I mean, to be honest, they all are. They're all very medium hard kind of setups. This F1 game doesn't seem to have that much of a variety between it, but they are slowly pulling away. I think Jacob's having a bit of a nightmare. Alcin may have used a lot of his ERS to catch back up with this, which might work. But the problem for MVR is they've not dropped Tex, who is the BRT driver of Tex, who's on the slower compound of tyre, and they're running the risk of a double stack if there's a safety car. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and obviously both on the same tyre isn't helpful. Usually try and switch it as Alcin flies past Jacob before the DRS is even open, Gareth, and he moves up to P6. But on NVR, they're almost, Gareth, two abreast. First and second and third and fourth. They are coming into turn 13 here through 14. Tech trying to get through. Back end setup for Venom, and that's Tech back up to into P3 now. Can try to go around the outside of Gabor here as well. Don't think he's got the grip on the outside there, but Gareth is switching so quickly at the front of this grid.
It is indeed, and not ideal for the teams, but they are. Well, for Tex it's ideal. I think that's the only way, because he is doing a fantastic job nurturing those hards and getting them to be the same pace as the mediums. But MVR they're gonna be struggling, I think, and it's not ideal for them, as there's a lot of pressure for them to continue to doing good. TTM, with this team standing, they need to get more points than they are in at the moment. But they're in a very similar position than BRT. It could be a TTM BRT, the front two rows of the grid locked out.
Yeah, it could well be. Yeah, it's the way it's working out at the moment. It could go that way. But again, it's a long way to go as MVR Chelsea. He has a 3-second time penalty. He's the fifth driver in the standings to currently on the grid with a penalty in this race. Already picked up Gareth from Kieran and Welsh Jack as Gabor flies past a teammate now and takes the lead of this Grand Prix, as we finally got a retirement, Gareth. Kieran retires from the race, And that is a safety car. You mentioned it a couple of seconds ago, Gareth. Fate? I'm not sure what you want to call it.
I don't want to say it's my lovely ability to call things out, but it's really unlucky for some of these drivers, especially the ones that are starting on the hard. Hard is, well, all of a sudden, being in a positive position, they're not in a positive position anymore. They're in a poor position because everyone's going to jump into the pits for the hards, going to make it to the end of the Grand Prix. The mediums are going to absolutely be, well, dead, I think, come the end of the race. It's pretty much force them into a two-stop strategy.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, and one thing interesting to look at, the MBR team have double stacked, it looks like.
They've had to, haven't they? And Gabble was the lead car, and that has put Quantum going to be down in, surely, 7th place. From 2nd to 7th. Because of that, that's really, really unfortunate.
And I think he had no option. He could have set out on those mediums, but then would have had to obviously pit, as well as the safety cars going extremely slow. And a couple of guys have had to almost jump past safety car. Venom's, well, they're all over the place, I think, in in this part of the trying to figure out the key guy, but I don't think he had an option really. Quantum, he could have gone round again and pitted them, but again, it's just going to cost him more time overall in this race. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's probably the worst of two evils.
So I think Tex right now has one of two options. I think he's got to burn all his ERS straight away from the restart, get his, use his pace, use his tyres, then come in probably lap 22, maybe put on another set of mediums, maybe put on a set of softs, and then fight his way through, or just nurse his tyres like they've never been nursed before. He has to be called the tyre whisperer to make them get to the end of the Grand Prix if he wants a podium in this race. But I feel for the hard runners because all of a sudden they're in a world of pain. I'm just looking. Bobbitt's even got caught in all that, but the cars that are on the hards now are in a strong position.
Yeah, I mean, those who pitted. I'm just looking at the guys who pitted just before then. So it was Wells Jack and Kieran. Kieran in the Mercedes, not Kieran in the Aston Martin, unfortunately retired in the race. Didn't see what happened, but it looked like the car was stuck in the first sector at turn 5 or 6, it looked like. But they've not gained that much. Welsh Jack only went up 2 places, while Kieran a little bit further. So small gains for those at the back of the grid. As we've got Josh flying into the pits, as he's got a drive-through penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Oh dear, that's not what you would have wanted, and that's more time for Josh. His team has dropped back, and now is obviously Josh falling further behind, and it's going to be a long old evening for Josh, it looks like, Gareth.
Yeah, not ideal for Josh, and he's probably going to be praying for another safety car, which isn't ideal for anyone, because then it would all of a sudden everyone would have to then jump onto a set of medium compounder tyres. I mean, mediums probably could handle 10 laps. So safety car lap 18, I think that's what Josh is hoping for right now.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of that. We've seen it in the past where we do have a safety car, and drivers who are on the harder compound initially start the race. They'll pit for a certain medium, and then go back in the pits once again and refit a set of fresh hards. So I'm surprised Tech hasn't done that. I know he would have lost a few more places, but at least they'd be slow behind the safety car, and he would be he would have gone and be able to go at the end of the race. So I don't know whether that was a thought of his. The safety car comes in on the end of lap 11, and we'll get racing in approximately, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 corners, Gareth. I think.
Yeah,
my maths are correct.
we'll wait and see. Shazoo Venom nearly lost it under the safety car, warming his tyres up. I wonder when Gabor decides to bullet away again, but it is, well, the safety car is around turn 18 now, and I think they're going to be going very, very shortly. Probably at the exit of turn 19 is when Gabor will decide to go. Let's see how it all pans out, though. It is keeping us very, very on the edge of our toes when Gabor decides to hit off and run. Let's look at it from a Tex point of view. He's still heating his well slowly. There goes Gabor. Away we go. Shazoo Venom is already all over the back of Tex. That's exactly what Gabor needed to do. However, Gabor nearly loses at the back end at the final corner. In the background, I think Alcin is defending from Jacob as they come up into the hill. Here comes Tex. Is he going to have the inside line? He's got the inside line. Is there going to be enough room for Gabor to go through it? Gabor's going to fight it as they head through this. This is going to be very, very tight, 2 by 2.
Through turn 4 and 5 they go, still side by side action, and McLaren just about stays ahead of Gabor, and he holds the lead. But I thought that was over, but he hops the curb, and that could be a warning for the McLaren as Medel gets a 3-second warning. Another man struggling here in Kota, but Gabor just about holds the lead. He's on the slow compound. Tech needs to attack now, Gareth, otherwise he won't be able to utilise those tyres as best as he can.
Yeah, this is problematic, and well, Josh is 15 seconds back because of his penalty and his drive through, but here comes Tex. He's all over the back. Venom's trying to get involved as well. Gabor's going to have the inside line, but I think the move is going to be done. Gabor's going to throw it in there still. They're still through it all. But I think that is done and dusted for Tex, as Placky now picks up a 3-second time penalty for his trouble. Penalties they're coming into play. You said earlier on that they're now even more in so.
Yeah, they're coming in thick and fast, Gareth. It's difficult. There's plenty of places to cut up the circuit. It's not like Azerbaijan where it's a 90-degree corner, and the way you can cut it is by losing your front left wheel or front right. So it's a lot trickier at this circuit here in Kota, being a proper circuit. On the street circuit, DRS is re-enabled in this Grand Prix, but Tech, he needs to pull away now, Gareth. He's already got half a second on Gabor. He just needs to get into the rhythm of things, treat it as a qualifying session, and get the laps in.
But you saw how strong the hard tyres can be if you keep in with the DRS. As Alcin and Typical in the background there, fighting away as we stay on board with Texas. He's trying to pull away, but Alcin managing to get past Typical. He's got to use those tyres, like you said about Tex. They've got to use those tyres when they can. Through turn 10 they go now. I don't think Tex is going to get away from Gabor. Gabor's going to get the DRS down the back straight, which is going to keep him in this battle a little bit longer. On lap 13 of 28, the safety car has come in. Please ignore the graphic from the game. But yeah, plenty of action to be had, and I think I found out the issue. So we're done and dusted, and hopefully let us know in the chat if it pops up again. But yeah, not ideal, but we're back racing again.
Brilliant. As Placky gets past Knight coming down to turn 12, their fastest middle sector from TTM driver there as he comes through the latter part of this lap. No, not too much movement on this lap, but look like everyone's still very close on circuit, as you can imagine, after the safety car here. As Jacob, again, penalty for him. He's just having trouble after trouble. The man down in 19th as Tech, new fast lap of 34.0 from the kick driver, flying at the moment. But again, Gabor isn't losing that gap, Gareth. It was half a second at the start of the previous lap, and it's only 4 or 5 tenths just floating around that number. So he's not pulling away as much as I thought he would.
I think Gabor's doing a good job of managing that gap and using the ERS where he needs to keep with Tex, and then getting the DRS as a Ronca picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. And I think this is where the hard compounded tyres, as long as you keep in that area, it's perfect to be able to battle away. And this is where the medium runners are They're going to have to play games, I think, with the hard running tyres. Make them use them a little bit more and be a little bit more, not aggressive. But here comes MVR Gabble. Does he do anything? No, he decides to back. But in the background, it's 3 wide into turn 12. And Quantum, Jacob and Typical all battling away. And I think Jacob's lost 2 places there. Typical has ended up losing 3 places because BRT Crowding's getting involved. It's all happening. It's an epic battle back here.
One small mistake cost you, Gareth, and you saw that Typical losing the back end coming through 13, and that allowed Crowding to fly on through, as well as obviously Jacob and Quantum there. It's all happening in the mid-pack. Some of them think, they're just doing their own thing, but they are always fighting. Every single position is fought for. Like I said, it's from first down to 15, so every point counts in this league. As the gaggle of cars, Gareth, that are happening behind Quantum, is Quantum all the way down to Liam in 14th. So many cars involved in this fight.
Yeah, it's all... Yeah, I don't want to say it, but it's all kicking off, really, as Crowding has Typical all over the back of him. Crowding on the medium compound tyres, the supposed faster tyres, but we haven't really seen that in this race. It's always been the harder to cut tyre. They seem to be very much the race tyre, and in the background there, we see Placky, Chelsea and Knight battling away as a switchback from Bobbitt's trying to get himself back up into some higher scoring points, because currently he's 13th. His teammates there in 3rd. Tex has lost the lead into turn 12, but we stay on board as it's just constant battle in this middle field.
It's non-stop, isn't it? It's difficult to know who to stay on board with sometimes in these races. I've always said, Gareth, we should have 3 or 4 different screens available to us so we can see all the fighting that goes on in these races. So Chelsea gets past Knight in the background there, but Quantum still holding this train up at the moment. Jacob not there yet to attack. As you mentioned, the top 4 guys, look how close they are coming into the final corner. You couldn't put a piece of paper in between the gearbox and the front window of some of those drivers at the front. But can Gabor hold the lead? I don't think he can, as Tech attacks back at him. Up the inside he goes into turn 1. Not late enough on the brakes though. And Quantum will hold the lead coming through turn 1. Ailton trying to get past Venom there. Venom turning back out. I don't think Venom's officially held the lead in this Grand Prix just yet. But biding his time on the hard tyres. You can sit behind these drivers and wait for a mistake and then capitalise on that. But got to be careful because Aisling is right on his backside here coming through the first sector.
Yeah, we better hope... Well, for Shazoo fans, we better hope that there's no late safety car, and that is crucial in this battle for the lead. Tex has a 3-second penalty. That is going to be absolutely heartbreaking for the BRT team. They're trying so hard to keep these medium compounded tyres fresh to the end, but he's now got to use all his tyres for all it's worth. He does get past Gabble as they head into turn 12. Shazoo Venom decides not to attack. He knows what he's doing. A bit further back, BRT Crowding tries to attack Jacob, but it's not happening. Placky and Hop swapping position. They're on the medium hard switch over there as well. But back to the leaders as Kieran Nag picks up a 3-second time penalty. Tex has got a half a second lead. Is he going to just burn all his ERS to try and build a big lead here?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Does he go to town and try and create a gap and then have to pit, or does he try and be considered as Typical, gets a penalty down in 8th place? And God, there aren't many drivers without penalties on the table. You can see how busy it is with penalties. No moves on the top 4 coming up to turn 1 here. There could be some further back. I don't think Typical's going to make the move there. As we've had Welsh Jack has retired, but in the pit lane it looks like as AMS Knight has also retired, Gareth. Both drivers who could have got points arguably in this race have, like I said, down to 15th with points. Unfortunately retiring, we're down to 17 drivers.
It's never give up in this one. We've seen how late safety cars can definitely change the fortune of your team and your drivers, and at the moment those guys could have cost themselves dearly. We saw it in Baku last week when we had those safety cars, other drivers who retired in the pits because they thought it was over. It wasn't over. I tell you what, it's never over until I sing. Here comes Gabble, takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Does Venom decide to do it? He looks up the inside of Tex, but it's just not going to be enough on this occasion. Quantum holding back Jacob as well, and Siri Hops has dropped a few places in one corner there. But at the moment, Gabble and Tex still battling away in a very, very tight section. That's turns 15 and 16. I think Gabble was caught sleeping then.
He was. You don't normally see moves going to 15, but died on the inside Tech. And he's through back up into the lead of the Grand Prix. And we have another switch over for the lead. I wish we had an overtaking counter as Boar makes a mistake coming out of the final corner. Could that allow Venom through? I don't think. I think Venom was slow off the corner, and they'll stay in their current formation for now. But Ailsin is just sitting there waiting, Gareth. He's just waiting to pounce on them any mistake that happens. Venom almost made a mistake coming into turn 11 the previous lap. Went for a dive down the inside, almost lost and almost locked up there, but luckily just about held his position. So he's got to be careful because he's got to attack, but he's got to defend as well. You know, he's in a tricky situation while Tech's only got to defend at the moment. He's only got to worry about one thing, while obviously Gabor and Venom got to worry about two things in this race. And if anything, Ailson's probably in the best position, Gareth. He's only got to attack at the moment.
Problem for Ailson though, he's on those same medium compounder tyres and Tex is on, yes. But he hasn't used them as aggressively as Tex, so he's got a little bit extra life, I think, in them. Tex is doing what he needs to, and being that kind of frustrating driver in the lead with the what will be the worst tyres come the end of the Grand Prix, and we're looking at it from Suzu Venom's point of view, as Gabor and Tex still battling away. And this is where I think Venom has been playing this very, very smart. He's not getting himself involved with the squabbling up front, but because they're slowing themselves down in that battle, look who's caught up. That's a battle for 5th place. Quantum is not a battle for 5th place anymore. It's a battle for the lead all the way down till 10th place.
Brilliant, isn't it? It shows how competitive this league is. The fact, you know, the 18 laps and the safety car, they're still so close together, and they're on different compounds as well, and they're still so close. But Venom, does he make a move on our 2nd place man? No, again, not close enough. But it's crazy, Gareth. You know, Quantum was 2 seconds behind this front 4, and him just working his way here bit by bit, working with Jacob, and he's closed the gap down massively now. And like I said, it's from 1st down all the way down to 10th place, and then a big old gap. Then, well, I say big, 2 seconds is nothing really, isn't it? Down to Hops, and then Hops has got a couple of cars behind him as Liam Hardman gets a penalty, another penalty, I think, for Liam in 12th place. 9 laps on those medium tyres. Okay, when are they going to start to fall off? Is this Gabor running away with it now? How much is Tex struggling on these mediums now? Can Venom finally get into 2nd? I don't think he's been 2nd his whole race, but look at him flying past the Kick Sauber car there and into the, and also Ailsin trying to get past as well, and Ailsin trying to take 3rd place off Tech, and Tech will go from 1st to 4th with a massive couple of corners, Gareth, and he is down to 4th place for our former leader of this race.
And that just shows the state of the medium compound tyres in comparison to the hards is very much struggling. Even though Ailson is on the same tyre life, he's looked after his tyres that little bit more. Venom had to make that move into turn 12, or otherwise Gabor would have run away with it. But crucially for Gabor and Venom, there is that 2 medium compound gap of drivers, 2 drivers there in front of the next hard compound driver. So Quantum has a lot of work to do. The only problem for Venom, the next hard runner, is a NVR compatriot who's just making a move on Tex. Tex is falling down the order like it's going out of fashion.
Yeah, Quantum really got his elbows out there. Late move or down the inside, made it work. Squeezed Tech to the outside, and now is Quantum through now. And unfortunately for Ailson, there's a brand new hard runner to contend with behind him, and he's only going to get quicker as this lap. Well, he might not get quicker, but Ailson will get slower because of the wear rate on those medium tyres. And Quantum will close his gap now coming into turn 11. That would be ideal. Don't think he's close enough there, but watch out for Ailson and Venom coming down towards turn 11 here, Gareth.
See how it will pan out as they go into turn 12, and Gabble holding station. I don't think Venom wants to battle yet. I don't think he wants that that lead of the Grand Prix. He's happy sitting there for another couple of laps before they really push it. Bobbett's still at the back of this train, trying to find a way through. Typical, trying to find a way through. Crowding there as well, BRT team. And I think that's Bobbett's trying to make a move on Placky, but there's just no doing on this occasion. And he's got so much more speed, so much more grip through this double right-hander, and somehow Placky holds on.
Just about, doesn't he? Great racing from P9 and P10 in this race. This has been non-stop. It's been great racing all round. There's a good little battle between Hops and Liam Hardman in the background of it all as well. And there's some front wing coming off for one of the drivers in the midfield. There was that crowding. No, not crowding. Maybe Jacob. Something came off one of the cars within his midfield pack. I'll have to skip through the drivers and see if I can find out which driver that was.
Yeah, and the problem is you can get that sort of damage mod, like something come up, even if you hit the side pod, and it doesn't necessarily.
Right.
But you can never tell if it's front wing or if it's side pod. It's a wonderful game, Codemasters. Well done. As we continue battling away into turn 11, Shazoo Venom, will he do something this lap? I think it's too early to mount an attack on Gabor just yet. I think he needs to look at it at lap 24, 25, but he's got those drivers behind him to worry about as well. In the background, defensive masterclass from Crowding. I think he's going to hold the position from Placky. I don't know. We've got to go on board with this because there is a lot of side-by-side action. Josh picking up a 3-second time penalty, which is not ideal. Placky might actually have the move done as they head through into turn 16. But a switchback is available for Crowding. They're going to still be side-by-side, but he has to concede the position. But he's got that incredibly quick Bobbett's, who's surely not going to try and do it around the outside and into the inside of 19. What a move from Bobbett's. If he's managed to keep that one stick, he has done. But there's a safety car, and flying into the pits go Placky.
Crowding's in the pits, not Placky. Placky stayed out.
Yep, that's what I meant.
Yeah, well, great racing there. One move we missed, Gareth, was typical. Untypically, to making a move into turn 11 of all corners, past Crowding. But Crowding's in the pits now, as is Hops. There's a couple of drivers making moves here. Oh, could they... I mean, where's Crowding? So Crowding's on the first set of mediums. Let's say 2-3 laps behind the safety car, so that will take us to 3-4 laps remaining of this race. If I were some of the medium runs, I'd risk it, maybe, on fresh soft tyres against warm hard tyres. But then again, there's plenty of life left on those hard tyres. They're not near the end, are they? Or those mediums might struggle a little bit. Oh, tough decision to make.
Joe Murphy in the chat, the incredibly quick Joe Murphy that is on the BRT team is, well, I believe he's still on the BRT team with the amount of driver changes that happens for a season. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, he believes Crowding's going to win this one. Crowding is in P11. He's opted for a medium compounder tyre, which is possibly the best way for it. Hops has gone aggressive, ultra aggressive, to go on the softs, try and make those moves stick. I'm guessing we're going racing again lap 23, at the end of lap 23, I should say, or maybe into lap 24, or into lap 25. I'm not sure how the safety car model is going to make this one. It's these drivers from 11th down have to make overtaking moves to get to the lead. Gabor and Venom still, in my opinion, are in the best place for victory here, but the likes of Bobbett's, the likes of Placky are sitting ducks.
Yeah, I think Crowding, Hops, Medell might flow through the drivers now. Fresh tyres, all the cars are still close together, as we've got pits from the leaders.
That's understandable. You kind of want the fresh tyre. Yeah, I'm
Crowding
now...
up the pit car already because of the pit stops.
Oh, it's a real...
the hard guys stayed out. The hard tyre runners. While all the mediums pitted. So So the Ailsing, Quantum, Tech, and Bobbert all pitted then. Placky now coming out the pits as well. I think Liam also pitted.
Bobbitt's was on a set of hards, so Bobbitt's kind of maybe he heard us. Maybe this was
Yeah.
and then
I
TTM
think-
double stacked. What is going on? Oh,
I think that, yeah, obviously Williams double stacked in the TTM, and that's going to cost them big time. Especially, obviously, their lead's quite fragile in the standings at the moment. I think they could be Crowding's race, Gareth. He's not got penalties, so he's already ahead of Typical and Jacob. Yeah, it could. Well, not to jinx anyone, Gareth, but it could be Crowding's race. But Hops is behind him. On soft tyres, it's not going to be very long. He could be one to get involved with this race quite quickly. So we'll have to wait and see. It's all kicking off. It's unpredictable, isn't it?
5 laps of racing is going to be here tonight. Lap 24, lap 25, lap 26, lap 27 and lap 28. That is how you count, by the way. I'm not sure why I had to do it that way, but there is definitely some incredible action still to call. Some people question COTA and why it's on the circuit, why it's on the calendar in real F1, but when it brings up stuff like this, unpredictable racing, it is going, and this is the reason why we love it. Crowding has a great chance, but now there's pressure on him not to get a penalty. He could be one warning away from getting that penalty, and that will throw this win away. Gabor and Venom are going to be in a world of pain. And, well, we're back racing underway. Venom wasn't caught out like Tex Brutal was in the first safety car restart we had, but Gabor still managing to pull away. Jacob looking to an attack on Venom, but it's not happening on this occasion. This looks like there's going to be some battles just further back. Look at the Mercedes and the Haas there. That is Aronka and Medal battling away. Some good points on offer for AMS and the Mercedes team. So there's so much still to be play for.
Absolutely, there's so much going on Sergey. Again, difficult to stay on board. I'm on board with Crowding at the moment. He's on the back of Typical, coming through the end of sector 1. Down the hill they go. Hops right in his gearbox as well. Could Crowding make a move? He does, late on the brakes into 11, and gave his Typical a bit of his own medicine there, Gareth. Typical did the same move on him a couple of laps ago before the safety car, and Hops trying to get through as well in the background. Side-by-side action from 5th and 6th. Arunka trying to get involved as well, and he might fly past Typical as well. Yes, he does. And Typical falling away very quickly in this top group, Gareth.
Whether it is worthwhile have been keeping on those hard compounder tyres. Crowding already getting past, but we've got to stay on board with this middle battle because poor Typical is dropping like a stone. He's now down to 9th place to the leaders. And I think it's going to be just as much pain for Venom and Gabble. Jacob and Crowding there, and CRE Hops, and just behind, I think, a few other crazy positionals to change.
DRS re-enabled here, Gareth. How is it all going to go down? Couple of laps remaining here at COTA. Crowding very late on the brake tour because Jacob up the inside. He goes and Hops follows him through as well, and Jacob, the next man to suffer from Crowding and Hops, and Earth goes through a runker as well. They're all flying past these fresh, tired drivers. Are absolutely tearing up the grid here.
Yeah, this is crazy. These fresher tyres, and I don't know. There's some FPS issues, which is frustrating to say the least. I'm trying not to add a swear word in there. And just in the background, you see Tex Brutal getting past as Typical, and Typical's dropped like a stone. Somehow Gabor and Venom still lead the way, but I don't know if that's going to be for any longer. Here comes, you know what, but Crowding decides to hold off, and the longer he holds off, the more time the other drivers along with him have a chance of getting themselves into the mix 3.5 laps remaining. Oh, and he's contact with Venom, and that is not ideal. There goes Hops, there goes Arunca as well. Could we see a masterclass from AMS? But I think Crowding's still going to get there, though.
Oh, it is non-stop. There's a couple of ghost cars coming through at the moment. It's difficult to know who to stay on board with and where it's all going. But Arunca up into P3. Now Hop second. And now they're hunting down Gabor. There's a gap, though. There's almost a second between them now. And Kieran and Venom side by side. I think Venom may have... Well, he's back in the race now. But it's all getting very heated, Gareth. And some late lunges from many of the drivers. And it's getting a bit aggressive in the front pack.
There goes Medal. He goes around at turn 1. There is definitely some hot collar action going on, and not in a good way in some of this respects as well. Kieran Nag up into 5th place. He probably wouldn't have thought he would be this high up, but he's being chased by Venom and Olsen, and this is going to be incredible. Aronka battling away with Hops. This could give Gabor all he needs. We're on lap 26 of 28, halfway through. Here comes Venom on Alcin on Venom. I think he's got the move done, and poor Venom is in a little bit of a world of pain. Let's go aboard with Hops as they head on down into turn 12. Defensive a little bit, but here comes Hops, surely back past. His soft tyres are very much in the window right now as Aronka getting through as well. Someone going massively off wide in the background as Kieran Nag picks up a 3-second time penalty. The penalties are still hugely involved in this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to cost a couple of drivers already at the end of this race. Couple with three, well, many with threes. There's a couple of 9s and even 12-second penalties in for the drivers.
Oh, goodness me. There's not enough time to take a drink here. The top 5 still battling away for victory. Penalties helping Hops, Crowding and MVL Gabor at the moment. This is nuts. Aronka takes the lead of the Grand Prix on the penultimate lap here, Ollie, and Crowding is trying to find a way through. Crowding still thinks victory's on the cards.
I think he does. He's just got to try and work his way past Hops here. We know how quick Hops has been in his last portion of the Grand Prix. A man we've not spoken about much, I don't think, in this race, but he's front and centre. He's got this screen time. And he's a bit slow coming through that portion of the track, and could Crowding put it down the inside. We've seen a couple of moves here from drivers, but goes wide as he possibly can coming through 11, trying to get the perfect line out of 11 and head down towards P12. I think he's close enough to make a move here, trying his best. He's in the slipstream. DRS is wide open. It might have to be late on the brakes. He goes to the outside. Onto the brakes they go. Through. Can he go around the outside? Yes, he does. He just about stays on circuit. Hops is trying to crowd him there. Down the inside still. Crowding goes. Just Hop to the switchback. No, he doesn't. He's not close enough. Oh, and Hops is around. Oh, no. Just somehow keeps that car on a straight line. I thought he was a goner there, Gav, coming through 13. But he's struggling a little bit. And that almost allows Gabor through, but not enough. And Hops falls down to P3 now.
And this is where it gets interesting. Gabor trying to find a way through, and Kieran Nag trying to force his way onto the racing line with Gabor still there as they head on through. Feel for Shazoo Venom. Where is Bobberts in all this for the Shazoo team? He's up into 8th place, but with the penalties to his name, as plenty of action still happening on the final lap as we head through the Maggots and Beckett section. I still don't know. I'm pretty certain Crowding's going to win this one, but Aronko on track.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, Aronko's got 3 seconds. I don't think he's going to gap that much, and there's a big old mistake from Crowding. He did have a bit of wheel spin coming out of turn 9 there, but again, not close enough. I think the top 3 have almost split up, really, and it could be Gabor, who's in a great position to try and get back Hops and defend for his life to try and take P3 off him.
And this is what we've got to do. I can't believe the action I've just seen in the background, but we've got to see Gabor take 3rd place. This will be 2nd place on track as things stand. In the background, Quantum trying desperately along with Bobberts. Bobberts surely not. He's up into 6th place. He's battling Alcin all the way through. Shazoo are forcing their hand here. Alcin's trying to go back up the inside, but I don't think he's got the grip for it. Bobbert's still holding strong at the moment. Gabor in there as well. There's no way through. Back up to the leaders, as I've got to go on board with AMS, Ronka. He's on the AMS roster for tonight. He's gone incredibly wide out of the second to last corner into the last corner, and AMS take a victory on track tonight for the first time this season. There goes BRT Crowding, who will win the race. Gabor in third, and Siri Hops will take fourth place in the end. TTM Alcin will be fifth, and Bobbitts does get home in sixth place. Plenty of final action there. I wasn't expecting 2 safety cars though.
No, not at all. I have to say, great move on Bobbitts there. Split 2 cars. I wasn't sure who it was, but split them down the middle. A defender for his life against, I think, Nielsen there. But whew, that was some action there, Gareth.
Exactly what we kind of wanted, isn't it? The Circuit of the Americas giving plenty of action for us tonight. Yeah, wow. Let us know if that's what you were expecting, a BRT Crowding victory. I mean, Joe Murphy did call it when the safety car came in, and he decided to pit when I called him Placky by accident. But tell you what, Ollie, that was a very, very solid race and solid end to the Grand Prix.
Sorry, guys, I missed that.
I was just saying it was a solid end of the Grand Prix, wasn't it? It's one of those very, very good way to end.
Absolutely.
Way to end it. Let's go down the order then. It's BRT Crowding who takes victory for BRT with a much needed win to get themselves back into the swing of things. Then there's Aronka for the AMS team. What a point score for him. He managed to pull that 3 seconds to Gabor, which meant he got that podium. And second place, a massive AMS points haul there. Gabor in third for the MVR team. Fourth is Hops. Fifth is Alcin. 6 is Bobbitts. Much needed points for Shazoo to keep on the pressure of TTM. Quantum in 7th. 8th to Venom. Placky in 9th there. Tex, with driver we thought was going to win, ended up in 10th place. Then we got Medal, Kieran Nag, typical Liam Hardman, Josh rounding out the point scoring position. Then Jacob and MVR Chelsea rounding out the finishers, and then non-finishers for the night, Welsh Jack and Kieran Derry. Now, you wonder, had they stayed in, would they have would they have got some points?
Well, that's the thing. It's what if, isn't it? It's always the way. And in hindsight, maybe we could have stayed in. I wasn't sure what tyre those guys were on. But even with people with penalties, still managed to get points. I think Liam in the Aston Martin, which would be my points thing back up. I need to get this.
That, to be honest, I could do with getting this back up in my head properly.
TIR? Oh, I got that wrong.
I think you're right. Apologies, guys. You're going to get to see the side of my head. But screw it. We're going to just go with it. But yeah, it's now it comes up. Of course.
I mean, like it's, he the fact he was, I think he crossed the line in 4th, but went all the way down to 12th. It shows like how quickly things can change. But still got points. He still stayed in it even with 9 seconds with penalties, and he managed to bring something home. And like I've said, that could be the difference between the position in the standings later on in the season. So it's really important to stay within it, even if you feel like there's no point. I think was it not Jacob, his teammate in the Ferrari, Josh,
yes.
Yeah, well, he was down and out, we thought, after what happened with the safety cars and the penalties he had. And after the safety car, yes, I know he had, I think, 9 seconds worth of penalties, but he was up in 6th at one point. And it shows how things can change so quickly in a Grand Prix. So never give up, and that's such an important thing, especially, like I said, when points go to 1st to 15th, anything can happen in these races. It's always worth staying in it, even if you got damage, even if you think your race is over, stay in it, and it can mean the difference between potentially 1st and 2nd in the standings at the end of the season.
Definitely, and you know what? I mean, he had after the first safety car, Josh had a drive-through penalty. He stuck at it, got back in it. Okay, he dropped back because of the penalties, but he still got points. Which is crucial in this day and age. There was still some incidents, though. I mean, Venom got caught, and there was a few other people that got caught in incidents and got spinning. I think the other Mercedes of Medal got caught as well. So it was a little bit I don't want to say a little bit. It was very chaotic last 5 laps.
Yeah, it was not bumper cars, maybe the wrong term. Elbows right. there was a lot, I'm sure, a lot of steam coming out of the helmet for some of the drivers with some of the moves. It could be some steward inquiries this evening after some of the moves, but for us in the box, it was entertaining, and hopefully it was entertaining for the viewers as well because it was great racing. And it just went to the very end, which is always great. Not running away with, because we haven't really seen that running away with the lead. I don't think, unless it happened in the first 2 races. But I don't think I've seen it. Someone run away. It shows the caliber of drivers we've got in this league.
Yeah, it just shows how quick they are. They all are. It's not exactly that. I mean, anyone's faster than me, but you know what we're getting at here is they're very quick and able to do it lap in, lap out. But yeah, I don't think there's anyone joining us in the commentary box. Hopefully we get someone through towards the end of the season. But we've got one more round until the mid-season break, and that is at Netherlands. And there is definitely a lot of action to be had there as well. A little less overtaking opportunities, but it's sure to have just as much action. Ollie, any final words for this race here in the Circuit of the Americas?
Well, guys, I think we had every single emotion in that race. The only thing we didn't have was the weather, but it was exciting. It was heart-stopping, frantic, stressful. It was a bit of everything, wasn't it? It was, again, another fantastic race here in CSS, and long may it continue. Obviously, we've got Zandvoort next week, which I'm very much looking forward to, and then a nice little season break, nice little week off, and then we get back the week after. So looking forward to the rest of the season already.
Yeah, one more round until that mid-season break, and as Ollie quite rightly mentioned, the tight, twisty Zandvoort, the Netherlands Grand Prix. There's plenty of action to be had there, and then we have that week off, and then we're at Spa. What a way to start the second half of the season. So plenty of action still to have. We will go to Zandvoort on Friday night for, I'm going to get this wrong, but the PlayStation side of things, and then the PC side of things on the Sunday night. It could be the other way round, actually. It's PC on the Friday, PlayStation on the Saturday, and then Xbox. Me and Ollie will be back, or Ollie and I will be back for the Netherlands Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching. Apologies for the technical issues that we've had through the stream. That is a little bit of a problem, but it should be all good for next week. I will just refuse to let my cat sleep on the PC because it overheated. But yeah, enough of that. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
You dying there, Gareth?